Out of the box, Revit does not come with any symbols like these for one-line diagrams for your electrical designs. So we have to draw this all ourselves in drafting views. And you can use lines and arcs and text, or you can create families of these pieces like this. This is a family. One-line load center, main lug only. This is a family. It's a one-line meter stack. Transformer is a family. Up here, one-line transformer. It has labels with editable numbers and letters that we can jump in and change these. So I've made up all of these different symbols. In fact, I have a whole library of these, as you can see here. And I've done a few previous videos where I've shown how I create these. They're just lines and circles, things like that. But one thing I want to show you with this is I've also built in a feature where if you click on it, you can go up here to the right under graphics. It says existing. If you click on existing and apply it, it immediately changes it to a dashed line type. Same with this transformer. Go up to existing, apply it there. And then if we change the line type to a existing one-line existing line type, we get similar results. So if you need to show existing equipment in your one-line diagram, we can easily do so at the click of a button right there. Now, how did I do that? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can create these symbols and how you can make them show up as existing or new. And if you don't feel like doing all of this work, which it is frankly a lot of work, I'll put a link in the description below where you can actually just purchase these as one giant one-line diagram pack and use in your own designs. But if you feel like making your own, and it's actually a good little beginner's exercise to create this symbolic content, there's no 3D in it. It's very straightforward. Stick around and I will show you how to create these kinds of symbols with the existing toggle. Let's get right into it. So what I'm going to create is this panel symbol, and we will get the existing checkbox in there. I'll show you how I did that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the family editor. Again, this is a very simple beginner level family editing project, so it's a good one to start with. So what we do is we just go up to File and New, hover over that and go down to Family. Now, this kind of family, a symbol family, is actually called an annotation. So if you can find your library of where all of your family templates exist, then go into the annotations and you'll see a bunch of different things. Most of these are tags, but we actually want a generic annotation right there, that guy. Not the generic tag, but let's go for the annotation and say open. Now this is just a two-dimensional style of family. They give you a couple notes here that you can change the family category to set appropriate annotation type. And you can do that up here at the family category and parameters, top left, the yellow folder. And we're going to leave it as a generic annotation, but you could change it if you were making a tag or something like that. And then the insertion point is at the intersection of these two reference planes. Now, reference planes are guidelines that we use to help dimension and draw our family, and then delete this note before using. So we will do that now. Like it said, the intersection of these two reference planes is the insertion point. Now back here in the diagram, let's take a look at where the insertion point is. If I click on this panel, and where's the insertion point? Well, we can't really see it, but if you hit the space bar to rotate it, you will notice it's rotating around this point at the top. That ends up being the insertion point that I chose for this panel. Now you can make it the corner, you can make it the middle, whatever you want. I chose it as the top. So we'll do that in this family. So this intersection is going to be the top center. Now the dimensions I chose for this also, this is 1:1 diagram, 12 inches equals a foot. So it's actual like sheet or paper dimensions. And the dimensions that I chose for mine, and you can choose whatever you like, was, and you can't apply dimensions to these. They're not really anything that you can dimension. So we just have to use something like annotate and draw a detail line to get close. So from here to here, you can see is a 1/2 inch. And then from here down to the bottom is 3/4 of an inch. So it's a 1/2 inch by 3/4 inch. And I just used some 3/32 text. So we will duplicate that. So we're simply going to create additional reference planes to be a skeleton that we can apply dimensions to, and we can even apply some parameters to if we want to make it variable. We're going to make this a fixed size family. So go to the create up top, and right here you see reference lines. Now, I mentioned reference planes before, and that's usually what you have when you do a family because it's in 3 dimensions, and a plane is a 3-dimensional object. A line is a 2-dimensional object. So we are just going to draw some guidelines. Now this is the top. I need a reference line for the left side. I need a reference line for the right side. And I need a reference line for the bottom. I'll let this reference plane or line, the plane in this instance, be the top of my rectangle. So now I want to give this some dimensions. And I'm going to create some names of these dimensions so that I can change them as I like. So I'm going to go from left to right and give this one, and then click off here, give this one a dimension name. Let me click on that, and I'm just going to go up here to a label and give it a label. Right now there's none, so I need to create a parameter for this label. And it's a family parameter, and I'm going to give it a name, just width. This is a simple rectangle, so nothing too fancy. Width works. And this is only going to be available to me within this family. The end users won't see these. Now you can make some other symbols that are variable by the users, but for this case, I'm going to set them myself and just have them be a fixed size. Width, it's a type parameter, it is dimensions, so that works. And then I can actually set that width right here. I can set it to be a 1/2 inch, which is what I decided. Now, what I notice is that it's not centered on that line, so let's undo that. Let me apply some more dimensions to force this to be centered. I simply go up to the dimensions again, go from the left one, and now I pick the center line, vertical center line, and then the right side, click off here. And then if I hit that little EQ, you see a little EQ right there, click that, that forces it to be centered. Now, as I move one of these, it moves both and it keeps it centered. But now I can go in here and type in my 1/2 inch, and it will be centered. Now I want to do the same for the top and bottom dimensions. So simply put a dimension from here down to here, give it a name, new parameter. We're going to call this one height. It's a type, dimensions, okay, simple as that. And then this one, there's no centering here. We are just going to tell it to be 3/4 inch. So that defines my size of my construction lines, which are actually reference lines. Now I can go ahead and draw in some line work. Let's go to create. And we have a button here called line. Click on that. Our choices are generic annotation or invisible. Generic annotation is the out-of-the-box name for annotation lines. And this comes into play if you want to try to change its color, things like that later on, or change its width. You would change the generic annotation line. So we're going to stick with that for the standard symbol. When we get to the existing dash part, we will have to create a new line type. But for now, let's just draw this as a generic annotation. Now we can do it with lines, the line tool here, or we can use the rectangle tool. I need a rectangle, so I will do that. And I want to go from this top left corner to the bottom right corner. So do that, click it once, drag it, click it twice. Now, because I drew it right on top of my reference lines and reference planes, it gives me the option to padlock. So let's padlock these. And that way, if for some reason I decide that I need to come back in here and change the dimensions of this, let's say I want to change it to 1 inch of height, the reference line moves and my line that I drew moves with it because it is padlocked to that reference line. So that's the key. So let's undo that and leave it at 3/4. Now I want to put in some text. So let me go up to my text tool, up here, the little A. Now the word panel is going to be just text. It's always going to say panel. So I want to do panel. So let's just click there. And in all caps, I'm going to type panel and click out of here. Now I want to center this somewhat left and right. And I can just do this manually by centering this box. If I shrink it, it goes down to 2 and 3 lines, so I don't want to do that. So just there. And if I need to nudge it, I can use my left and right arrow key to nudge it. And then maybe I want it up a little higher, something like that. Or maybe I want to keep it lower if I want to put a main breaker in one of these. There. Now we need to create a label here for the panel name. And we don't want that to be text. We actually want it to be variable. So if we go up to create, up here next to text is a little button called label. Click on that, click a spot here, and this box will open up and it shows the parameters that we already have in here. Now we need to add a new parameter for the name of our panel. So let's just create new parameter and we'll give it a name and just call it name. And then what kind of parameter should this be? Well, we want it to be text. So under data type, let's go with text. We want to go instance parameter for text. And then we want to take that parameter and we want to move it into the label. So we use the little green right arrow, add parameter to the label, and it adds the parameter name. And you can have spaces and prefixes and suffixes. We could have parentheses or quotes around it if we want, but we just want the raw word name. Here's the sample value, and it puts it right there. And it looks like it's fairly centered. Doesn't need to be that wide. So there, now we have the panel name, and that is a parameter that we can change. Now we need to get a little more advanced, and we want to control the visibility of this border. We want to make it solid when it's new and dashed when it's existing. The first step we're going to do is we're going to assign some visibility of this outside border to a parameter. So let me show you what we're going to do. If you look at the family back here in our model, let's click on panel. And over here at the right, we already talked about the existing parameter that the user can click on or off. Now associated with this are some working parameters that we need to make this work. And they're down at the bottom under other, show existing and show new. They're lowercase. They should be kind of just out of the way. They're grayed out so the users cannot mess with these. These are ones that we need to create kind of behind the scenes to make this work. So we're going to add these parameters and I'll show you how they work. So back in our family, go up to the add parameters button, the family types here, and we're going to add some more parameters. So we're going to create the existing parameter, which is the one the user gets to mess with, and it's an instance parameter. It is going to be what's called a yes or no parameter. That's kind of the radio button. And I'm going to group this up under graphics. Like that. So it shows up here. And hit OK, and there it is. And the default word gives you a clue that it's an instance parameter. So each panel we put in can be existing or new. And then we need to create these dummy variables or working variables or parameters at the bottom. So let's do that. And just lowercase, I'm going to say show existing. Show exist. It's an instance. It's also going to be a yes or no. And I'm going to leave it under other, so it's at the bottom. Kind of out of the way. And then I need the other one called show new. I'll show you how these work. Instance, yes or no, other. So now we have these. And everything's checked right now, which is okay. We're going to fix that. So the logic is these will control the visibility of my border. When do I want to show existing? Well, I want to show existing when this existing button up here is checked. So what I can do is put a formula down here, a simple Boolean formula. So I want show existing to pretty much equal existing. So I'll have the same status. So if existing is checked, then show existing also gets checked. Now I want the show new to be the opposite of that. How can I make this the opposite of existing? Well, in Boolean logic, you use what's called not. Not and then parentheses, existing. So it's the opposite. You see it unchecked. So if existing is checked, show existing is checked, and show new is not checked. If you do the other way, they swap. So this is the toggle action that I need to control my visibility. Now I need to assign the proper line types to these little working parameters. We'll do that next. I want these 4 borders to only show when it says show new. Now, one way to select all of these is to hover over it and hit tab, and you can see all 4 highlighted. Click on it to select it. And over on the right, they're visible. Now, clear to the right is a little button called Associate Family Parameter. This will map this family parameter to actually a parameter within the type that I can get to in my model. I want those 4 solid lines to be mapped to show new. When show new is positive, those things will show up. Now I want to turn these off and draw some dash lines in. How do I do that? Well, I can't turn these on and off in this family normally unless I go down to the bottom left. There's a little button here called Preview Visibility Off. That means, what do you want to preview the visibility settings in your family editor? It's off right now. I want to turn that on so that I can see how this works. So there, now it's on and I'm in this kind of a yellow mode. If I go to my parameter, now if I uncheck existing, apply it, my solid line comes back on. Now it's kind of hard to tell because these lines are so thin. But if I turn existing on and say apply it, you can see that the solid lines disappear. So it's working. So I want those off right now. Now I can create and draw in my dash lines. Now, the way I do that is I go to Manage, and it's kind of confusing because in an actual model, you would go here for line types. It doesn't work in the family editor like that for some reason. We have to go to the object styles. So this opens up the object styles, and here's our generic annotation line. We want to create another line type, and it has to be a subcategory. So modify subcategories, click on new, and we're going to call this, I call this in my models, is one line existing in all caps. Okay, it's a new line type. Black is okay. And then I want it to be a line type called hidden. So apply that. I've created a new line style. Now I want to draw this box in that new line style. So I go back to create, just like I did with the solid lines, but this time I choose one line existing, click the box, and draw these just like I did before on top of there, pin it. Now I missed that last line. So what I can do is I can just move it over, and then it gives me the lock. There we go. So now I have my dash lines in. If you hover over them, you can see them. They don't show up very well normally because of these reference lines. So now I want to hover over these, hit tab to select them, and I want to apply the visibility of these dash lines to the other parameter called show existing. Therefore, those 2 parameters control the visibility of these 2 different line types. Escape out of that. So now, if I toggle this on and off, you can kind of see how that works. And I want the default to be new, so existing is off. Now I can take this and load this into my project and save it, and we'll see how it works. So here we go. Kind of looks like the other one. Let's put it up here. Right there, we'll give it a name. Click on there. Call it panel test. There we go. Now it's solid lines. Now if I click on it, yes, my existing shows up. You can see these others are grayed out. If I click existing and apply it, look at that. I went to my dashed lines, click it and uncheck existing, apply it, I'm back to solid lines. So there you have it. It's how to create this toggled new and existing. You can apply that to all of these symbols that you create. And if you like creating families like this, check out this video I have linked on the screen for another family editor video.